The cellular structure and function of the myocardium. One may think that the heart is a simple human organ, but as we all know, it is very complex and is vital for pumping and circulating the blood in the body. The heart is made up of 3 layers, visible when dissected. The epicardium, which is the most superficial and protective layer of the heart, the myocardium, the thick muscular middle layer, and lastly, the endocardium, the innermost layer of the heart. The contraction of the myocardium, a myocardial contraction, is what pumps the blood through the heart and to the major arteries. Contractile muscle cells, or myocytes, make up approximately 75% of the myocardium. The myocytes are filled with bundles of contractile proteins, each bundle called a myofibril, and each myocyte is bounded by a sarcolemma. Within the sarcolemma, organelles in the contractile apparatus are contained within the cytoplasm that contains potassium, calcium, and sodium ions. The intracellular concentration of potassium ions gives the cardiac cells their own electrical properties, the inside of the sarcolemma having a negative charge and the outside having a positive charge, thereby creating a state of polarization. This also occurs in the cytosol, in which the concentrations of calcium ions increase and decrease to cause a contraction and relaxation of the cardiac muscle. As the main function of the myocardium is the heart's contractions, actin and myosin filaments are located within the myofibrils. These filaments are vital for the heart to have the ability for its contraction-relaxation cycle. Each myocyte is also highly populated with mitochondria. The cardiac mitochondria have an important role in supplying much-needed ATP and also have the potential to collect calcium if needed. The actin and myosin filaments are what gives the cardiac muscle its striated look. During a contraction, the filaments will slide over each other without individual actin or myosin cells actually shortening. As they slide, they pull the 2 ends of the sarcolemma together. The sarcolemma becomes highly specialized and forms the intercalated disc when the ends of the neighboring cardiac myocytes make contact with one another. The discs contain 3 specialized components: gap junctions, fascia adherens junctions, and desmosomes. Gap junctions ensure rapid electrical communication between cells so that the whole heart behaves as one. Adherens junctions and desmosomes ensure that physical forces produced by individual cells are transmitted throughout the myocardium. Cardiac myosin makes up most of the thick filaments and is comprised of 6 subunits, 2 heavy chains and 4 light chains. The heavy chains contain an actin activate ATPase that releases the energy used to power cardiac contractions.